might be of a help to you in your keeping your chanukah. In the Chalaymas of Yosef, it says, "Hine kama alumasi v'gam nitzava." So the mother says, "Alumasi" comes from the word healing, keep it quiet. My mother, Rachel, kept quiet when Leah was brought into Yankov instead of me. And that's chus, I'm going to be Zoichet Malchus. That's what the message says. Kama alumasi, my quietness. My mother's quiet. My mother's keeping quiet. Now, this Yosef in the Shalom wants to be Megala why he was Zoichet Malchus. Why does he say that she kept quiet? She did more than that. She gave over to Saman. Keeping quiet is being passive, not doing any damage. She did more than that. She gave the Saman to Leah. That's even a bigger schus. And Yosef in the Chalim doesn't even mention that. In the Chalim he says, "V'hinei hashemesh v'yazayach yachat elzek yechav v'meshach v'malei." Hashemesh means Yankov, and hayarayach means Rachel, my father, my mother, and they're all bowing down to me. So Yankov said, I'm going to go to bow to you. Your mother is dead already. So Rashi says, and the Shvatim said so. So the Rashi says, but they didn't know that it's referring to Bilhah. That that Bilhah brought up Yosef. She adopted him instead of Rachel. She gidalto ki'imay. She raised him like as if she would be her real mother, his real mother. So therefore, Yankov didn't know, and the Shvatim didn't know. That's a big play. Yankov Avinu learned Torah by Shem B'Yeva. He knew the entire Torah. That somebody adopts a child and is considered the parent of the child in the eyes of the Rabbeinu Shalom. That's a chelik of Torah. The Gemara in several places brings psukim that whoever raises somebody is as if he's the parent. And that's why, being that in Mitzrayim, Yosef was Mechalkeil, he supported and he kept alive the entire Mishpach of Yankov. So therefore the entire Klal Yisrael is called Yosef, as if Yosef is the father. And the Pasuk says, "B'nai Yankov and Yosef Sela." We are the children of Yankov and Yosef, because Yosef raised us, because he supported us in Mitzrayim. If not for him, we wouldn't have existed. So, and there's other psukim, and the Gemara Megillah brings a pasuk that, and also by Esther, Bitay. If somebody supports somebody raises somebody, that's a child, he has the credit by Shemayim as if he's the parent. Didn't Yankov know that? Why did Yankov say that didn't Yankov know that Bilhah is raised Yosef and therefore she's like her mother, like his mother? There are two parashas, one next to the other. The parasha of Yosef and the parasha of Yehuda. The parasha of Yehuda and Tamar, and the parasha of Yosef and Eishes Peitifera. These two parashas are smuchim to each other. And the Gemara says, and Rashi brings it, that both meant l'shem Shemayim. Just like Tamar meant l'shem Shemayim. Because she knew the Ruach HaKodesh that David Melech Yisrael Mashiach is going to come out from her in Yehuda, and she meant l'shem Shemayim and whatever she did. Potiphar, the Ashes Potiphar also meant the Shem Shemayim, because she saw the Astagninus, she saw with her stargazing that she's going to have a child from Yosef. And really she did, because her daughter was Asnas was Potiphar, and Asnas married Yosef, and she was the mother of Menashe and Ephraim. So Ashes Potiphar saw her in Stagninus, and she wanted to be Mikayim that. So she meant the Shem Shemayim. But still she's a big Russian. She meant the Shem Shemayim, but still she's a Moshe, because she isn't like Tama. She threw Yosef into the base of Sayar, and she made a bilbo on him, and he wasn't in danger of being killed. But this prat that she wanted to have offspring from Yosef, that she meant the Shem Shemayim. So therefore, the two parshas are together. So Rashi says, La Yada, she didn't know, if from her or from her daughter. She didn't know. So there's something deep in this. Yehuda, from him comes out Mashiach ben David. You probably know by now that there are two Mashiachs in Klal Yisrael. Mashiach ben David and Mashiach ben Yosef. She actually, Ashes Potiphar, wanted to bring Mashiach ben Yosef. This is also a smichas between these two parshas, Mashiach ben David and Mashiach ben Yosef. I have a kasha on Ashes Potiphar. Ashes Potiphar didn't know if it's from her or from her daughter. So there's a very simple solution. Actually, it was from her daughter, because it was Asnas that married Yosef. If Ashes Potiphar didn't know, why didn't she make Pa'ulais? Why wasn't she active in having Yosef marry her daughter instead of her? Because if she would have relationships with Yosef, she's an Ashes Ish, and it's Be'isah, and it's very risky. They can find out. But if it's her daughter, who was a Pnuya, who wasn't married at all yet, then there's no difficulty. So she should do in Yanam that Yosef should marry her daughter, which means that the children will also be hers. If she didn't know it's from her or from her daughter, so she should let Yosef marry her daughter, and the children will also be from her. She'll be the grandmother. So why did she put herself and Yosef at risk, and didn't rather make the Pa'ulei stuff for her daughter? So before we answer that, I want to make 3 Hagdamahs. One Hagdamah is that there are certain distinctions in Klal Yisrael. Like, for instance, Avraham Avinu. It's Avraham Avinu. I Hashem. Avraham Ayhavi. He had Ahava. Yitzchak had Yiras Hashem. Yitzchak is the epitome of Yiras Hashem. When Yaakov speaks about Yitzchak, he calls him Pachat Yitzchak. He would have, in Seif Pashas Vayetze, he has Pachat from the Rabbeinu Shalaya. Yaakov is Toyeder. Yaakov is the feather. There are Sheva Chayim. We think about it the most, so Hakim Alon Rayim Sheva. Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, Moshe, and Yosef, and David. He said in the Shpil, each one has his distinction in what he is different more than the others, and that is his primary thing. And that mile he has more than the other one. Moshe is Rabbeinu, Aaron is Akayim, David is Hamelech, and what's Yosef? Yosef HaTzadik. You heard this expression, Yosef HaTzadik. Yosef is a Tzadik. You don't say Avraham HaTzadik. You don't say Yitzchak HaTzadik. You don't say Yaakov HaTzadik. You don't say Moshe HaTzadik. Yosef HaTzadik. The distinction of Tzadik is dafka for somebody who is careful and oizgehavet in midas in midas b'ris kodesh. And Yosef has that. the Nisyanis of Avraham Avinu were in different areas. Avraham Avinu's Nisyanis were in Mesiras Nefesh for Achdus Hashem by Yor Kazda, Mesiras Nefesh for Ahavas Hashem by the Akedah. And each tzaddik has a distinction. Yosef was a boy of 17 years old. How old are you? 19. How old are you? He was 17 years old. And you can look back 2 years ago. Now you're already big ice garbage. Look back 2 years ago when you were 17 years old. You were raw. You needed a lot of Hashalama and Yiras Hashem. Yosef HaTzadik was torn away from his father and his mother and his brothers at the age of 17. Yosef ben Shve'ez Cheshana. And he was sold as a slave in Mitzrayim. For all he knew, he could have been a slave all his life. It's true that he had Chalamis and he knew that he'll be a king. But he didn't know what, when, where. He could have been a slave all his life. He spent a whole year in the house of Potiphar. Every day, the wife of Potiphar was mufata him to an aveda. Every day. She didn't let go of him. And the Medrash says, "Begadim shalav sheshachnis loylav she'arvis." She kept on trying to be mafata him in all kinds of different directions, always keeping on changing her clothing to more attractive clothing, this and that, happy to get hold of Yosef. And this went on for a whole year. And she was threatening him. You know, the Medrash says that she told him, "I'm going to pluck your eyes out if you don't listen to me." So he answered him, "Hashem v'keyachem." So she said, I'm going to have you imprisoned and in a very tight room where you would have to be bent over. So he answered her, "Hashem is the food." And you can be imprisoned all your life. So he answered her, "Hashem matter of food." And she kept on warning him. And the fact is that she made good on her threat. She threw him into a dungeon, into the veil. And he was, and every year or something, there used to be done the after what her psak din would be. So he was a mailatik sakana with such nisyainus, such mailatik nisyainus that he had. He was 17 years old, and he survived these nisyainus with years shemayim. Therefore, he is called tzaddik. The distinction of tzaddik is given to somebody who is a shayna habrit. He keeps the kedusha, the brise shel Avraham Avinu. That's called a tzaddik. And every tzaddik who is zeicha to a title, to a distinction, can only do it with nisyainus. Abraham is called Abraham Ayhavi, the Ahev Hashem. Only with nisyainus. He had to go through 10 nisyainus until he was zeicha to that title. Everyone is zeicha because of his nisyainus. Yosef's nisyainus were in Kedushas Avris. It's true that the brothers of Yosef also were Kedoshim Utchayim, but they didn't have nisyainus. So they weren't zeicha to the title tzaddik. The distinction of tzaddik is given to somebody who had nisyainus, and he kept himself the kedusha. Therefore, he's called Yosef HaTzadik. Another akdama that I want to make. The Rabbi Shlomo gave a Torah, and how seen it. The Yavei Sagdashim also had the Torah. They were zeicha to the Torah. Through there is blindness in the Rabbi Shlomo's world. The whole Torah is written in the Rabbi Shlomo's world. It's written in Eretz Yisrael and also the cloudiest in the whole world. Because the method says, Bereishis bara Elokim. The Rabbanu Shalom created the world with the Torah, which is called Reishis Daka. Istako be'araisa ubara alma. The Rebbe looked into the Torah and he created the world. So, in other words, the world is made according to the Torah. To put it this way, the Torah is the blueprint of the world. It's just like an architect looking to the blueprint, and that's how he builds the building. The Rabbanu Shalom looked into the Torah, and that's how he made the world. The Katzka said, the Mendele Katzka said, the Rabbanu Shalom made a chibro, a sefer, and he wrote a pirush to that, and they made a pirush to that chibro. The sefer is the world. The pirush is the Torah. In other words, if a guy would look at the world, he sees so many things, endless things, but so he sees them, but it doesn't bring him to anything. But Eden, who learns the Torah, can understand the world through the Torah. We see things happening in the world, things that are big cash, things that need a deal. We understand them through the time. A certain lady called me up this week. She had called me up about 2 years ago. She called the Barad of Rabbanim. She wanted them to give a hezbel on the Twin Towers. But how does religion look on that? So she called me up and asked me for my hezbel. And she jotted it down and she printed it. It was a bestseller. I don't remember the name of the book right now. It was a bestseller. Then she calls me up again. And last week, she wants to have the hezbel on the Intifada. What's going on now? Why are the Arabs being out now with such terror? What's happening in the world? What's going on? So I told her my hezbel. Either she's in the printer or not. But in my small way, every Yid has a chelik in the Torah. I look into the Torah and I try to understand the world. And this is what I told her. Rabbanu Shalom gave the mitzvah of Mila to Avraham Avinu. And because of Mila, the Rabbanu Shalom promised the Eretz Yisrael. It says on Pashas Lech Lechem, Bri'atas B'Risi Tishmael, V'Nesata Lecha L'Zarecha Acharecha Seretz Migulecha. This land, Eretz Yisrael, I'm giving to you because you're keeping Mila. So the Isaiah tells us that the Sar of Yishmael came complaining to the Rabbanu Shalom. 400 years he was complaining. That's what Isaiah says. Why 400? I don't know. But he was complaining. The Yidden keep Mila, and that's when you give them Eretz Yisrael. I also keep Mila. The Yishmaelim are marveling themselves. They're marveling themselves. So why shouldn't we have Eretz Yisrael? So the Rabbanu Shalom answered Yishmael. He answered the son of Yishmael. It's true. You have a claim of Eretz Yisrael because of Mila, just like the Yidden have a claim of Eretz Yisrael. But there's a big difference. When the Yid is mother himself, it means something. A Yid makes a bris with the Rabbanu Shalom, not as B'Risi Tishmael. And the Mila is the bris. And the Yid keeps Kedusha because of that. You Arabs, your Mila isn't a bris with the Rabbanu Shalom. It's not a bris. It's surgery. It's not a bris. You're going to have an operation. Because, like the Rambam says, that the Tam, the Rambam gives Tam Pashtus. So the Tam of Mitzvah Mila is to weaken the Tam. That doesn't go true for the Yishmaelim. The Yishmaelim, the Gemara says about Yishmael, Asara Kapens Nus Yod Ali Yodam Tisha Natlu Yishmael. The Gemara says Kedusha. Arabic. That the bris doesn't. This surgery doesn't make them not Nayasim. They're the biggest Nayasim in the world. In fact, the reason why they let themselves be killed is because they're being promised as nus and zirganayim. So their life and nefesh was nus. They're the biggest nayasim in the world. So the bris is not a bris with the Rabbanu Shalom. They're cutting themselves, and that's what was the time of the Bnei Yankov to Shechem. You have to marry yourself like we're gemalet. You didn't marry yourself like we're gemalet. You just made surgery because you want more taivas, because you want our daughters. Adrab, it's the opposite. So it's not Mila. So they didn't keep the promise. So they killed the city of Shem. It's an empty Mila. It has no content. There's no pneumius. It's empty. There's nothing to it. The Bnei Shalom told Yishmael, you're going to have Eretz Yisrael while it's empty. Your Mila is empty. You're going to have Eretz Yisrael while it's empty. So all the years, all the hundreds, the 2,000 years that the Eden are in Yolis, you're going to have Eretz Yisrael. And itself, the Arabs are there since the Eden are in Yolis, and it's empty. Eretz Yisrael is empty. After World War II, something happened. Nobody knows exactly what's happening. You know, there's an expression in Yiddish, the weiß nicht genau a halbe Arbeit. Somebody who's stupid, you don't show him half of the work. You know, let's say a painter, a big artist, paints a picture. And he starts painting, get a splash here, a smear here. So somebody who doesn't understand art at all says, this is an artist, he splashes paint, I can also splash paint. So you don't show a fool something which is incomplete yet. Right? We don't know what's going on. I'll go upon him. After the war, something new happened that didn't happen for 2,000 years. Yidden started immigrating into Eretz Yisrael because of the Medina, because of the Jewish government there. And before, there was something, a few thousand Eden were in Eretz Yisrael. Now, there's a few million Eden in Eretz Yisrael. You'd be surprised to hear this. 1/3 of the population of Klal Yisrael is now in Eretz Yisrael. Eden are going back to Eretz Yisrael. Eretz Yisrael isn't empty anymore. It's filling up. It's not full yet, because whole Klal Yisrael has to come there. In Eden, Dachacha b'tzei Hashemayim, Hashem yikabetz Hashem elekecha, Hashem yikechecha, v'aviyah Hashem elekecha el ha'aretz. Whole Klal Yisrael has to come there. But 1/3 of Klal Yisrael is there. Eretz Yisrael is not empty. Every nation has an intuition. The Mazel tells them, they feel what's going to happen, because every nation has a star b'Hashemayim, and they feel what the star tells them to do. There are 70 nations, and each one has a star b'Hashemayim, the Shivim Sadim. The Arabs also have a star b'Hashemayim, and they feel that what's going on. They feel that they're going to go out of Eretz Yisrael now. They feel that Eretz Yisrael is filling up, and they're going to have to leave Eretz Yisrael. Everybody shall pick up Eretz Yisrael like a sheep and shake them out. Because the Naya Gaya Mina Eretz, everybody shall shake them out, and somebody that picks up a sheep and shakes it out. So they feel it. And when somebody feels that he's losing, he mobilizes, he musters all his strength. He wants to fight back. You know, it's a problem. When a person is about to die, he all of a sudden becomes very active. He fights. He doesn't want to die. He wants to live. You know, watch your Chanukah. You can see it's more by a waxing candle, not by oil. A waxing candle, when the wax comes all the way down to the bottom, and it's almost about to go out, the fire will start exploding in big spurts of fire. The candle is fighting for life. You know, it doesn't want to go out. It feels that it has no more fuel, it has no more gas, which comes from the wax. So it fights, it's gasping, the land gasps. These Yishmaelim, they feel that it's the end. They're fighting for life. They're fighting tooth and nail. They don't want to allow the Eden to displace them, to evict them from Eretz Yisrael. So that's the Pshat of the Intifada. They know that it's their end. That's why they became so super active now. They're fighting back. They're resisting it. That's what I thought was relating. Publish it or not. Al Kapanim, going back to what we said before, if you look into the Torah, you understand the world. Like the Mendele Totzka says, the Pirush, the Chibur is the world, and the Pirush is the Torah. However, if somebody can read very well, he can do it backwards. He can look into the world and see the Torah. We look into the Torah, and if we're zeicha to look into the Torah like a Yid should, he can see the world. But the other Tzedakah were able to look into the world and see the Torah. If somebody is an architect and he sees a building, he knows what it says in the blueprint. The other Tzedakah knew the world. And that's why they knew the Torah. They were massing the Torah without it being given on the Sinai. We need the Torah to be given to understand the world. They knew the Torah from the world. So, however, there are certain inyanim in Torah that have to be nizgala in certain times. There's a special man when it should be nizgala. Like, for instance, let's say the din that mayavi v'lai mayavis, that a mayavis is mutar lavi b'kal. That halacha wasn't nizgala until Bayaz. Bayaz was machadishet from the psukim. It dashed the psukim mayavi v'lai mayavis. Till then, everybody knew that a mayavis is also. And therefore, there were many people who didn't agree with Bayaz, and they criticized Bayaz for taking cliffs. And until David HaMelech, Dayak said that David is puzzled Lavi Bikal, and therefore he's not allowed to marry Shaul's daughter. Because the halacha wasn't Nizgala yet until the right time. And then it was Nizgala the whole time. There are certain halachas that a certain time comes down when that halacha has to become Nizgala. And it's not Nizgala before. Like, for instance, the halachas of Purim. Purim is given me Sinai. Or Chanukah is given me Sinai. But it had to wait for a certain time. Every Navi gets his Nizgalas and it waits. The Navi Yeshaya wrote his Nevuah. It was written on the Har Sinai, but nobody knew it until Yeshaya came. Then it was Nizgala. There are certain halachas that are Nizgala when the time comes. The third Akdama is a Pirkei Rabbi Elazar, which also the Targum Yainus from the Nazil brings down, and the Taisus of the Torah in the Kreis David collection, you have Taisus of the Torah, also brings this down. Shem had a child from Dinah. Dinah had a baby who was fathered by Shem when Shem was Ma'aneh her. Now, when she had the baby, after he killed out the city of Shem, the Shvatim were very angry at that baby. It wasn't to the Chvaydim that their sister should have a child who was fathered by Shem ben Chamayah. They wanted to harm. Yaakov Avinu knew it. So he took that baby, it was a baby girl, and he carried it away to the Mizrah, and he deposited it on a thorn bush, on a sneh. And he said, the Vanisher will take care of it. And he wrote on a certain, he put around her neck a necklace with a charm on it. And he wrote into that charm, I am from the Mishpacha of Yankov. And he signed her name. And he put her into the sneh. So the Malach Gabriel went, and he took this girl and brought her to Mitzrayim and deposited her in the house of Potiphar. Potiphar and his wife were childless, so they decided to adopt that girl. That girl later became the wife of Yosef. How did she become his wife? Because it says, in this week's Sedra, Yosef went out, and he was very good looking. Yosef, you say Torah, you say Mother. So it says in the Vayichi, the daughters were stepping on the wall to see him. Whenever Yosef walked in the street, so the girls, they weren't allowed to be in the street where he's walking, and they got up on the roofs and looked at him. And they wanted to attract his attention. So they threw things at him. They took off the jewelry and threw it at him so that he should look, who's throwing this jewelry at me? But Yosef was a tzaddik. He didn't look. But one of those girls who were on the roof, her name was Asnaz. She was the daughter of Dinah. And she took off her charm and threw it at Yosef. when it fell on Yosef, Yosef saw his father's handwriting on the child. I am from the mishpacha of Yosef. He did look up. And he saw Osnas. And he told Paro, I want that girl. So, and that's why her name is Osnas, because she came from the Sneh. The period of Rabbi Elazar. Right, that's it. I know. Rabbi Elazar Gadol, that you have from the Mishnah. Rabbi Elazar, there was the Talmud of Rabbi Yeshua. And the Targum Yonason also says it. In the Chumash Parashas there, Yonason and Nazir, the Yonason and Nazir was before Rabbi Elazar yet. And this big said, יוסף יולד שני בנים בטעם טוב ישנה צרה, ואשר יעוד עלי אסנס בספטיפרה קאי הין אין. ויתן is אסנס בספטיפרה קאי הין אין. So the Targum Yonason says, V'yavale, and he gave her yes Osnas, the Yeledas Dina L'Shchem, that Dina gave birth to Shchem, Urevesa Itas Potifera, and the wife at Potifera adopted her, Rabba the Tumas, that was the wife that Yosef got. You're going to look it up in Targum Yonason. On the pasuk, V'yavale is Osnas Bas Potifera. So that was the story with Osnas Bas Potifera. So, therefore, now that answers the kasha. I asked your kasha before. Why did the wife of Potiphar, knowing that she has to have children from Yosef, why did she make so much yisurim to Yosef and wanted to Chazushoda being Machshel and not at all. She adopted. She saw it's Agninus that it's her daughter. She saw it's Agninus her daughter. I mean that she can have children from Yosef, and Osnas doesn't count. She's not her daughter. However, she really is her daughter. She's her daughter because she adopted her. And I brought you the psukim before that the Gemara says in several places that if you adopt a child, that you're the parent of the child. But Shemaim, she's considered her daughter. So why? The kasha again. Why didn't she see that Osnas should marry Yosef? The Torah said she didn't know. She didn't know. She didn't learn Gemara. She didn't know that if somebody, I tell her Megado Yosef himself, she didn't know. So that's why she wanted that Yosef should take her, not her daughter, because it's not her daughter. If she would have known that Bashemayim is considered her daughter, she would have, of course, given Yosef to the daughter. Now, why didn't she know? Why, when Aishas Potiphar was trying to milafata Yosef, and I would say Shemayim, because Mashiach and Yosef has to come out of us too, why didn't Yosef tell her? Why didn't Yosef tell her that your daughter would be okay for me, because your daughter is considered your daughter even though you adopted her? Why didn't Yosef tell her? After all, Yosef learned the whole Torah by Yaakov, Ben Vikunim, so Yosef knew the whole Torah. Why didn't he tell her that Osnas is considered her daughter? That it is because Yosef didn't know. Yosef didn't know. Why didn't Yosef know? Wasn't he Makabel from his father? From Yaakov Avinu, from whom he was Makabel the whole Torah? The Torah says Yaakov. And that's why Yaakov made a mistake, and he said, and Rashi says, that it's and she called his mother. Why didn't Yaakov know? And therefore Yosef didn't know. And therefore Aishas Potiphar didn't know. Why didn't Yaakov know? There are certain halachas that you're not allowed to be legal until the time comes. If Yaakov would have known, so he would have taught it to Yosef. If Yosef would have known, he would have told it to Aishas Potiphar. If Aishas Potiphar would have known, she wouldn't have subjected Yosef to such nisyanos. If he wouldn't be subjected to such nisyanis, he wouldn't have become the tzaddik that he was. He wouldn't have had the nisyanis. And Yosef was supposed to have those nisyanis. So that because of these nisyanis, the Medrash said that the Yidden in Mitzrayim remained tzaddikim because of the kedusha of Yosef, the schus of Yosef. The Yidden were 210 years in Mitzrayim, and nobody was ever mizanah. The pasuk says, "Achas haiso pirsum al-kasef." In the 210 years that we were in Mitzrayim, there was only one woman who was nirshel and Aisha Sish B'Shaykim. The Shleimus Bazili with the Mitzri that Moshe Rabbeinu killed, and her son was the Mike of Shem Shemayim. B'Shem Nima Shleimus Bazili the Mateidan. So Yosef had to be Zeichel to that Kedusha. And because of that Kedusha, he wasn't allowed to know this side that's called Megadol Yosef and the South Base of Kiyulu Yolazek. And therefore, Yosef didn't know. And therefore, Yaakov couldn't have known it. Because if Yaakov would have known it, he would have taught it to Yosef. So this is the Nisyanis of Yosef. But actually, I was supposed to swing from here into Hanukkah, but it's 2 minutes to 12. The whole Indian of Hanukkah is the Kedusha of Yosef. The Shalaka says, Melech Yavan is the Gematria Yosef. Melech Yavan is the Gematria Yosef, 156. The Shalaka. Because the important part in the Mechama of the Chashminayim was because of Kedushas Yisrael. The Medrashim say that there was the Gzeira on the Nashim, on all the Yiddish Kalas, that the Goyim was supposed to be in the Tamizim and before they go to the Chut. That was the Gzeira. And Yehudis was Mavata that Gzeira because she cut off the head of the king, and then the Gzeira became Bethel. Yehudis was the daughter of Yochanan Chashmonai Kain Gadol. And that's why we eat cheese on Chanukah, and latkes on Chanukah. And the Ramah brings that there's a minute to eat milchiks on Chanukah, and because Yehudis gave milchiks to the king, and she put him to sleep, and then she chopped off his head. So that's how she chopped it off. And that was Mavata the Gezeir and the B'nai Yisrael. So therefore, even though Chanukah is a mitzvah Sasesha as man grammar, and Nashim should be part of, but the Gemara says Nashim Achayiv and Chanukah. Afei Naisa B'Yaisi Anes, and the Gemara says over there. Rashi brings because Yehudis was Mavata the Gezeir. So therefore, Nashim Achayiv and Chanukah. I can't elaborate more now about Kopanim. This was the whole Indian of Chanukah is the Netzachen of Kedushas Yosef. And that's why we read the Parshas of Yosef in the week of Chanukah. Vayeshev and Miketz in the week of Chanukah. To tell us that the Shaykhs is the Kedusha of Yosef. And Kopanim, well, this is Chanukah has a lot of inyanim in itself. It has the Torah, Mashkichim Teresech, it has Shabbos, it has Chodesh, it has Mila, and it has Yosef. It has a lot of inyanim in itself. And it's the Kedusha of Yosef which gave us Chanukah. So, among other things, when in the Yantif of Chanukah, Eid should make this Gedarim in himself to have more shaykhs with the Kedusha of Yosef, and with that will be Zeicha to the Matanis Min HaShemayim which Chanukah gives us. A good Shabbos, now left in Chanukah and Kol.
For a share on the topic of 2 approaches of being the Kara's people to Hashem, given Tavshim Memtes, press 1. For a share on the topic of the Netzachem of the Kedusha of Yosef in the deep Tuma of Mitzrayim, given Tavshim Samachay, press 2.